All right. I was just practicing my Halloween costume there, which is a sad, depressed Gamecock fan, which I should be pretty good at, seeing as I do that every single day. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, what is up? Monday, October the 31st. Of course, it is Halloween as you see the setup. A little bit different today. We are on the road out of town, but still rocking, still rolling in what should be an electric TDC here on this Monday. Again, folks, appreciate you all tuning in. Um, anyways, guys, Chase Orvin, Chris got a dad bod. You couldn't be further from wrong, my guy. You couldn't be more wrong. Let's see. Facebook is down. Okay, Satterfield hackers have officially hacked the Facebook. I may be moving this show. This may be the week to do it too, because the show is set up on Facebook. For some reason, it's not going out to Facebook. I know many of you want to get your feelings heard. Let's see. All right, let's make sure our Facebook folks get this. Again, we are live here on the Daily Crow. Appreciate you all tuning in. We are not in studio. Again, we are on the road for this week, really the entirety of this week outside of Friday. We will not be in studio. Let me make sure, again, our Facebook folks are getting this. Let's see. Hopefully it'll post. I don't know. Satterfield hackers are getting after it. We're off to a hot start here on this Monday. Halloween. Okay, we've posted the link. Again, guys, we're going to take your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Todd Smith, do you have some larger shirt sizes? I can get them made. Yeah, Comfort Colors, Todd, only goes up to a 2X. I can get some Bella canvas made for you. Anyways, guys, really excited to go ahead and jump right into the phone lines. We've got Garcia at 12:15. Bree, what's going on? How are you?
How are you, man? Because are any of us that great right now? That was. Whew. I don't have anything to say right now about the offense. I ain't even go break them down because there was not a lot to say. I do want to go and look and break down the O line and find out if the
Bree,
they didn't look good.
Bree, there's no more break it down. There's no more film study. I think Sat needs to go. I don't think there's any amount of film.
No.
I don't think there's any amount of
that.
film you can watch that'll. I think you're gonna have a.
I'm not on that, dude.
I feel for you if you want to go back
I'm
and watch
talking about the O line itself. I'm just hoping the O line maybe wasn't as bad as they looked because of damn coach.
Well, I'm not. I'm talking. Yeah, about. I don't know if it's the game to go handing out gold stars to anybody. There's a reason that the punter was the Cock Commander MVP of the week. It wasn't pretty bad across the board. Pretty bad across the board. So
dude, that was awful. The offense is awful. The offense was atrocious, and it was 100% fat and maybe some Spencer. But you got to do one thing or the other. You got to bench Spencer if you're telling me your OC is fine, or you got to take the play calling away from Sat if you're telling me that Rattler's fine, because one or the other must be changed, or you're beating your head against the wall week after week. I changed my team defending that stuff after they won in Kentucky because they left so much out there. A&M, the same thing. I said the same thing. We could have gotten so much more in those games. Everybody was happy that we won, and I was like, I'm not happy because we didn't play well on offense. We could have gotten more on that offensive side of the ball. Now, I'm not even worried about the offense. Y'all are going to kill these guys. I have no defense of that. Like I said, all I care about is maybe defending our O-line. I want to go see if they looked as bad as it looked, or if it was just simply the OC just could not do what he needed to not make our O-line look like they were crap all over again, because I defended them this year, and they've been playing well, and I still maintain that they play well in a lot of games. But I cried, man. I cried. At the end of the game, I cried because I felt like our coaches made our players look terrible. And honestly, Clayton White did too. The video I made of the defense, man, the breakdown I just did of the defense, he had one hole the whole game, over and over and over and over and over again. They took advantage of the same thing over and over, and that was he kept leaving holes where the defensive backs were back, Every time they saw a defensive back, the play went to that hole right in where you could just see where the hole was in the field, where there was just nobody close to the line, over and over. And people say, "Oh, he adjusted." He barely adjusted, and it took him forever. And I've seen it in this. I said that after the Charlotte game. I said he gets a hold of it, but man, it takes him 3-4 drives before he can figure out something. I think that he should already know going into the game. This wasn't some magical playbook they threw at him. They ran like 5 plays the whole game, Chris. They ran like 5 plays the whole game and burnt him and torched him with it by just seeing where the DBs were lined up, looking at that hole over and over again and go, hey, that's where the play's going. Every time, dude, over and over. It didn't even stop. And the D-line played great. They got in the backfield all night long. Other people were like, hey, the D-line played great. Yeah, they actually did. The guy doesn't know how to use a spy. He either runs man blitz the whole game or is off zone coverage. It's been that way all year. He hasn't mixed his schemes up any better than the OC has, man. It's no better than the other side of the ball. Those guys just played super inspired. He's lucky his D-line was in the backfield all night, or they would have looked much worse.
Yeah, it was pretty rough all the way around, Bree. I mean, listen, today is for the callers. Today's for the callers. This is totally vent therapy, so I mean, I hear you. I hear you on all fronts.
Yep.
It's hard for me to really.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's hard for me to really come down on the defense after that. But I mean, they didn't.
No,
play
the
perfect,
players were great, man. Listen to me. Those players were great. They played their heart. Those deep players played their heart out, dude. They played their absolute heart out. I'm telling you, their defensive coordinator let them down. I'm telling you, he did not adjust anywhere near as fast as he should have. The things he should have already been prepared for. It wasn't rocket science what they did to them.
Right.
They don't have the talent to bring a super high complex offense at them. They use similar stuff that we've been mad about all year: swing passes and wide receiver screens and attack our perimeter all night long. Like we've been mad about what Satterfield's been doing. They use the same playbook against us almost and made us look stupid doing it. And it wasn't the players, man. They played so hard, dude. They played their butts off. And I have nothing bad to say about our defensive players. And really, probably not the offensive ones either. The coaches failed miserably. Both of them. It wasn't any better on either side. Yeah, the offense needed to come back. Did we hold them to enough points? Sure. But that's against Missouri. They don't have some high-powered offense, man. I'm not giving them credit for I'm not giving the defensive coordinator for holding the team to 22 points that he should have held 22 points.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a loss like that, I don't know that we're handing out a bunch of credit here on this Monday. So, yeah.
So I'll let the phone lines free up, man. Like I said, I wanted to focus on defense. We're always talking about the offense. I wanted to bring in my opinion on the defense. I've talked about it before. And this time, I wanted the video I made this time was all about the defense, and it shows literally the same holes, the same crap, play after play after play, over and over again. And I'm just like, I was laughing at then, Chris. I was laughing. It was laughable that it was laughable.
Yeah,
I couldn't even not laugh at what I was seeing, because if I didn't laugh, it was just, I was angry. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, when you'd rather laugh than cry, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let the phone lines get free, man. Let the other people say what they got to say, because I know there's plenty.
Yeah, today, it's going crazy today. Bree, I appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, take care. We'll try to squeeze in one more call before Gar comes on. He just texted me, said, give me 5 minutes. So we have time. Anybody want to call in? 843-790-3373. Guys, I know phone lines are going to be ringing off the hook. Prize Picks, proud sponsor of this show. Go download the app. Go to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code TSUS, 100% deposit match up to $100 with our friends over at Prize Picks when you sign up using that promo code. So got that out of the way. Hey, this is you guys' show today, man. The podcast today, as you can imagine, a therapy Monday to the max. I spent about an hour and 15 minutes on the podcast. Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
You're good. Hey, Chris, I got plenty of stuff to say, man. Should I say it?
My guy, that's literally what this is for. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris, every time we get 5 wins last year, We lose the Missouri. This is getting old, man. It's ridiculous, man. I'm tired of this BS, man. You know what? I had enough of this Marcus Satterfield, man. He has got to go, Chris. Have you seen enough too?
Yeah. I literally released merchandise with Fire Sat on it. I would say that I'm done. Yeah, I've had enough, man. The offense is stagnant and stale, and I think you can say whatever you want about Spencer Rattler and the line, the receivers, what have you, but the scheme's trash. The scheme stinks. It's garbage. And I will say this because I see Courtney Washington. I'm fine. Listen, I'm out in beautiful Florida. It's like 87 degrees here. I'm great. I feel fine. Today is a therapy Monday though. But I don't think, and I posted the video yesterday on social media, I don't think the season's over. I don't think we're just going to lose every game that we have left. But that game Saturday, that was depressing. There's really no other way to put it. And yeah, so I think, I think here's the positive spin for you. The positive spin is that in life, a lot of times, you feel like you do everything right and it still doesn't work out. And you're like, what's the problem? You can't really put your finger on the problem. I guess the positive news is we feel like we know what the problem is. And that is Marcus Satterfield and the play calling and the scheme and the identity, the quote unquote identity. We have an identity. Newsflash, we have an identity on offense right now. It's garbage. It's anemic. It's boring. Our identity is boring. That's it. That's the identity. So, yeah, man, I think it's and that's the thing, dude. Normally, again, I got a unique vantage point, seeing the fan base, everything else. Normally, when you, saying fire a coach is one thing, right? Oh, social media. When you drop merchandise that has fire whoever the coach is, that's when you get some backlash or people like, oh, you're taking it too far. I've seen none of that. The entire fan base is done with this guy. And I feel like I actually waited much longer than some others. So I think my feelings are pretty clear. It's obviously shouldn't have to say this, but it's nothing personal. I'm sure Marcus Satterfield, he knows football, but whatever the message is they're trying to convey, whatever it is they're trying to do, it's not working. And they don't look like, to me, they're willing to get off of that. So listen, I don't think a move is going to come before end of season. If I had to guess right now, I don't think that a move is going to come before end of season. I think they will ride it out with Satterfield through the end. And listen, that doesn't mean we're going to lose every game we have left. It doesn't mean that Shane Beamer should be fired. None of that. But I think that's probably what will happen. I could be wrong, but I think that Satterfield will be retained through the end of the season. After the Clemson game, I think that's when you reevaluate, and I think decisions will be made then. I'll just say this, though. You got to think there's a reason they didn't renew his contract after last year. Like he's on a 2-year deal. This is year 2 of 2. So I think there's a reason for that. I think there was a reason for that. I'll go back and say that, I thought it was actually a good move that he brought Satterfield back this year, right? And I can expand on that more as we go throughout this show. But I thought it was a good move by Beamer. I thought it was a smart move. But, yeah, I think, there's so many damning things against Marcus Satterfield at this point. There's just no way he survives it. He's a dead man walking right now.
Oh, yeah. And Chris, here's the thing about this. And JB has must win this week, right? And Chris, if we don't get a 6 win this week, Sage is going to get weird, very ugly and nasty, right, Chris?
Yeah, if we don't get, let me just say this, because I got people in the Big Cock Club saying this too about, man, if we lose to Vandy, things are going to be bad. Well, no shit, man. No kidding. That's the most obvious statement of all time. If we lose to Vanderbilt, things will be bad. Yeah. So if we lose out, Justin, yeah, things will be bad. Yeah. Yeah. If we lose 4 in a row, actually it'd be 5 in a row to close the season. Yeah. Things will be bad. Things will be bad. Yeah. That goes without saying, my friend. So I look at it this way, and again, I'm not trying to be positive Paulie on this Monday. I know the popular thing today, and heck, I'm doing it too. We're ranting, we're raving. This is Therapy Monday. This is your space for the next hour and 45 minutes to rant, to rave, to bitch, to call out, say whatever you want to say. But I will say this, with all that being said, let's get it out. Let's also realize the season isn't over yet. Let's not make Vanderbilt and Florida out to be more than they are. Like I got people, you'd think we're playing Alabama with the way they're talking about Vandy, the way they're talking about this game. Like, I understand if we play like shit, we'll lose. I get it, but like let's not make it out to be like we're, now we got to go play this team. We're playing Vanderbilt, and I'm, I'll be very cautious to dance on their grave this week just because of what happened over the weekend. But I'm just saying, like, I looked at the 5-game stretch of Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou, Vandy, Florida, 5 games, and I kept saying, I said it over and over, next 5 games, all winnable, all losable. There's good and bad news because these teams are just as flawed and inconsistent as we are. And so what I saw Saturday, was I surprised that Mizzou was the team that exposed us? Yes, I was. Was I shocked at what happened, though? No, I wasn't. Because South Carolina, I said it in the pregame. Talking to folks. When we were talking about predictions and all that. Like, I was like, South Carolina, we're more than capable of going out there and playing a dog shit game. We're more than capable. And we sure enough did. Unfortunately, we did. So, we cheated death. And, listen, I drank the Kool-Aid last week, and I don't regret celebrating the victory. I don't regret smoking the Aggie pack and enjoying the wins. It almost, it even more so reinforces what I said after last weekend about celebrate the wins when you get them. Celebrate the wins when you get them. Because losing sucks no matter how you slice it. There is no spin zone today that, well, actually it's okay. Nah, it sucks. So when you win, no matter how it happens, find a way to enjoy it, right? For sure. But the issues that we knew you had after Kentucky and A&M on the offensive side, they just finally came to bite you in the rear end. That's what happened. So it's unfortunate, but it's where we are. So I think we all know the issue and the problem.
Yeah, hey Chris, if I got here, man, listen, it's been fun, man. Look, I did make fun of Kentucky Texas will beat those teams on those when people put out their draw about those 2 teams who beat, Chris?
Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, again, I don't think the season's over, but we all know the move's got to be made. So, at some point.
Yeah, it has to be, Chris. Hey, Chris, and I worry about the Vanderbilt game. Are you too, Chris?
Am I worried about what?
Are you worried about the Vanderbilt game too?
Am I worried about the Vandy game? I'll give you a prediction later in the week, my guy. But am I going into this week? I'm not acting like we're playing Alabama. No, I'm not. I'm not worried about the Vandy game any more than I'd worry about any other game, man. It's a road game in the SEC. I mean, it's not the most intimidating atmosphere in the world. It'll be chock full of Gamecocks. So, worried is the wrong way to describe the Vanderbilt game. I'm intrigued. I'm very curious to see how we respond and what the offense looks like and, the adjustments we make and how we bounce back and all that. Am I worried, though? No, I don't think worried is the right way to put it.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. Because they played a tough last year. Remember, it was the first game,
Yeah, I mean, I know they had a bye week, but I'm not too worried about it, my guy. I think worried is just the wrong way to put it. So.
Oh yeah, Chris. I got to ask that question today. You know that.
Yeah, no, I got you. Hey, we're gonna talk Vandy. We're gonna talk Vandy as we go throughout the week. But obviously, we know what the topic conversation is today. Breaking down that game. Justin, I'm gonna let you go, man. We got Stephen Garcia waiting in the wings, so I'm gonna get him in here and we're gonna get his thoughts. I'm very excited to chat with him. But hey, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, hey, good one. Go Gamecocks.
Yeah, man. Go Gamecocks. Appreciate you, Justin. Always a pleasure. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Those coming in that normally tune in on Facebook, I do apologize. I don't know what the issue is or what's going on. Facebook Live has been having some issues with their video. And so I've been scheduling these shows as normal in the back end and scheduling them on Facebook. And we go live. And for some reason, the video is not distributed to Facebook. I think that's a Facebook issue. That's not an us issue because we're doing the same thing. Either way, though, guys, if you miss any of this, it will publish at 3:00 on our podcast feed, TSUS podcast feed, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, where you get your podcasts. Also, our segment with Stephen Garcia will air on YouTube. With that being said, let's go ahead, get him in here, my good friend, former Gamecocks quarterback, and what a day to bring him in, right? We got questions about the offense. We've got questions about quarterback play. Who better than the Roach King? Stephen Garcia, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, that was a tough one, man.
It was. Dude, on a side note, I'm in your state this week. I know you can probably tell the setup's different. I'm actually down in the beautiful state of Florida, man, enjoying this high 80s weather. So, yeah.
It's warm.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm like, dude, people are texting me. They're like, back in South Carolina, it's like 50 degrees. I'm like,
where are you at?
Nope. Orlando.
Oh, okay.
O-Town for a couple of days. Yeah. Just figure why not? Just a random little trip, man. So figured why not?
Shit. If you come down to Tampa, it's only about an hour and a half.
We might have to. You know what? That was a complete oversight on my end. We should have done from the Roach Ranch. We should have done this show from the Roach Ranch today.
Yeah. That would.
I'll be better next time. I think the weekend honestly sent me into a bit of a tizzy and a mental block, if you will. Steve, before we get going, guys, obviously want to tell you our friends over at Rebel Rabbit, the segment brought to you by Rebel Rabbit, guys. Rebel Rabbit is a new seltzer company out of Greenville, South Carolina, but it's not just another hard seltzer. Rebel Rabbit is alcohol-free, THC-infused high seltzer. Yes, THC infused. All their high seltzers are infused with just enough Delta 8 or Delta 9 THC that'll open your mind to an entirely new drinking experience with only 6 grams of sugar and all natural organic flavoring. It's a light, refreshing social tonic that helps you cut back on booze but not on fun. So whether you drink alcohol a little, a lot, or none at all, Rebel Rabbit's the perfect replacement or alternative. Guys, follow the Rabbit for a better way to booze on Instagram. They're at Drink Rebel Rabbit. That's at Drink Rebel Rabbit. And guys, you see them, of course, whenever we post our clips with Steven, the Rebel Rabbit logo in the corner, and we tag them. Be sure to go shoot them that follow. You can also visit their online store at drinkrebelrabbit.com. That's drinkrebelrabbit.com. You can check out their store locator to find the closest rabbit hole near you, or you can order online and have it shipped directly to your door. And Steven, I tell you, we could have all used a couple Rebel Rabbits after that game on Saturday.
I'm reading some comments right now. Hunter Johnson just says, Sat needs some Rebel Rabbits. Then I'll unscramble his brain.
Oh, my God. Well, Steven, let's not even beat around the bush, man. Just jumping into it. Obviously, an ugly game. And you played. Ugly games happen, right? But when you have the theme of bad offense and stagnant offense and bad quarterback play and just not being productive. I think it was Brad Crawford this morning that posted a statistic. South Carolina, when it comes to SEC games, second to last in the conference in offense, just above Vandy. I mean, so it's been – the numbers back up how bad it's been. Now you got Jaheim Bell's mom vocally going on Twitter. See, this is something you didn't have to deal with, right? If a guy wasn't getting the ball, it wasn't somebody going on social media, going to Twitter. They might have been calling the coach, but it wasn't as public as it is now.
No, it was in person. I saw it several times, but it was in person. It wasn't in front of like the whole team. It was, an offensive kind of quarterbacks, receivers type meeting. And yeah, it wasn't on social media. Spurrier would have lost his mind. That would have been the case.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'll let you go into what you saw on Saturday specifically. We'll start with that, and then we'll think bigger picture. Mizzou, we knew coming in that defensively, they were stout, right? Defensive line. They got some dudes up there. Secondary had been pretty solid. You looked at what they did against Georgia, and you just looked at the numbers. I think a top 40 or top 50 defense. What did you see, though, on offense? And again, I'm sure this will be you can take this wherever you want, but it was a rough day all the way around. What did you see from play calling to execution? I know you were obviously critical of Spencer Rattler's play, which, when the offense is as bad as it's been, you should be. He's the high-flying QB. And I think you and I, Steven, and I think everybody probably agree, and I listen, I like the kid and everything. If his name wasn't Spencer Rattler, I think he's benched at this point. I don't think there's no way with 5 touchdowns and 9 picks.
If
his name's not Spencer Rattler and he didn't have the hype, hoopla, accolades, I think you're seeing a switch. Everything you saw on the offense Saturday, man, I'll give you the floor.
I mean, I feel like it's the same as everything. I mean, we can complain about Satterfield's offensive play calling. We can complain that it's an NFL-style offense and a not collegiate level. It's not, conducive to Spencer Rattler's abilities on the field. At the end of the day, this is not a democracy. It is a dictatorship. And whatever Coach Beamer says, we got to just accept it. It is what it is. If he wants to keep Satterfield, that's what he's going to do. Again, I don't necessarily understand the whole love with Spencer. Yes, he's an elite arm talent. Anyone that I've talked to within the team, within the organization will tell you that it is an elite arm talent. There's no doubt about it. That being said, what is he doing differently to carry do? What is he doing differently that, Luke Doty, what is he doing differently that those guys couldn't necessarily do and move the ball on offense? So at some point you kind of gotta make a switch. I mean, it has been a very stagnant offense, and they're now 5-3. We were hoping to be at 8-2 by the time we played Tennessee, but it's at some point you got to make a switch or heads are going to start rolling. And I can see in the comments that everybody's calling for Satterfield's job, and rightfully so. I mean, when you're the second lowest offense in the SEC, it's not good. So something's got to change. Something somewhere has to change. I don't necessarily know what. I don't have a suggestion, but there are a few things that could be done to kind of get some sort of flow in this offense, because it is very tough to watch.
Can you hear me, Steven, or not?
Yeah.
You can. Some reason I'm having trouble hearing you. It's cutting in and out. I'm thinking maybe something on mine here. I'm gonna boot you and rejoin real quick. All right, just so I can hear. I have no idea. We're on the road. Technical issues. You love it. The SAT hackers are working very, very hard today, folks. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys just heard everything Steven said, because I'll be honest, I didn't hear a single word. I got to be honest. I don't know what's going on. The SAT hackers, again, are abundant. They are working hard. Y'all let me know in the comments if something's wacky, by the way. Y'all let me know. Nobody's saying anything, so I don't see anything. Let's see. Yo.
Hold
on, let's see. Let me change up the – go ahead, Steven.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I got you now. I don't know what's going on. We're on the road, and everybody else can hear you. I didn't hear a word. I ain't going to lie to you. I didn't even hear a freaking word. So SAT hackers are screwing my setup today. It's all good. It's funny. You were talking. I was like, I'm just going to let Steven go because he's going on the rant right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, long story short, just to kind of sum up what I was saying is, what is Rattler doing that Luke Doty or DeCarrion Jordan, what is he doing differently that those guys couldn't do? Yeah. I think Gamecock Nation wants to see some sort of change, any sort of change. I mean, shit, when you're like you said, we're second to last in the SEC in offense, you got to change something up. I don't get it. And I was thinking about the other day, I was going to look it up. When was the last time we lost to an SEC opponent with a losing record at home? Like I don't ever remember that happening. Like when I played, when Connor played.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously those were the golden years, but I mean, I don't know. We were such a confident team after that A&M game. I don't know what the hell happened. I really don't. Mizzou just came in and kicked us right in the fucking teeth, man.
Yeah, and it's weird, man, because I was in the stadium and I didn't feel like I thought we were sluggish coming out, which was weird. I mean, it was weird. I didn't think, though, we lost that game because of the letdown factor. I just think when your offense is as bad as it was on Saturday, it's hard to get excited and to get hyped up. And your defense just keeps getting put out there. And I know they had a slow start. I thought they made adjustments, though, and they kept you in the ballgame as much as they could. Yeah, I mean, third straight game, though, Stevie, it's I don't regret celebrating last week. And I mean, I think you should celebrate the victories no matter how you win the games. And, because winning's hard, right? So you celebrate the wins when you get them, but it's the third straight game you've had around 100 yards of offense at halftime. And I mean, it's just not clicking, man. It's slow. It's methodical. I know it pains Gamecock Nation when you get it to the line and you're looking over and you're checking and you get a delay again. It's like you're not able to build any positive momentum offensively. And then Marshawn Lloyd goes out and RIP the running game. I mean, there's just none of it. There's just no running game. All in all, schematically, I mean, I think you've obviously seen what I've posted, and I've just, I equated it this, Steven. I know this is kind of out of left field, but I heard somebody talking about marriage and relationships, and most people could avoid getting divorced 10 or 15 years down the road if they didn't ignore the red flags or the deal breakers within the first 10 to 15 minutes that they know exist, but they suppress them and they put them to the side, right? Like, that's kind of like what Marcus Satterfield in this offense is for us, where it's like we were winning and we had a 4-game winning streak. And I mean, listen, I got caught up in the hype hoopla and drank the Kool-Aid. Felt good to win. But I think we all knew the underlying issue, right? That you're not going to be able to be, getting an interception down to the 5 or getting these big plays on defense every single week. You can't bank on a block punt and a kickoff return every single week. At some point, those facets are going to be even. and your offense is just going to have to go make plays. And I mean, it's not even remotely. I mean, listen, y'all had bad games, right? Good offenses have bad games.
For sure.
But when you have so many in a row, and then you got a guy like Jaheim Bell not even getting a target, man. I mean,
it's baffling. It's baffling.
hard to stomach. It's hard to stomach.
We made it an absolute point to get Ace Sanders the ball, to get Bruce Ellington the ball. I don't care how we had to do it. If we had to literally catch it and just pitch it to him, if we had to get Alshon the ball, we had to get Torrey Gurley, we had to get Wesley. If we saw the matchups leading up to the game, we found a way to take advantage of that. We found a way to literally throw a screen pass, to throw anything, just to get the playmakers the ball in their hands. That's what they're paid to do. It's baffling. It truly is. There's nothing that Spencer has to read in order to just catch and just throw it out there. So that's where I can kind of see the hate towards Satterfield is like, dude, what are we doing? Why are we not getting the guy the ball? Like we have to get him the ball. Get him out in space. That's where he's good at. He's good at getting out in space, making people miss and gaining yards. That's what we have to do. And for some reason, I don't know. I'm as perplexed as anyone else.
Is there any way in your mind that, because there's still football to be played, right? And this team, ironically enough, is 5-3, exactly where I picked them to be in the preseason. And that's why, Steven, it's so funny. Like, it's easy to make predictions over the summer and say, well, we'll lose this game and this game will go this way and we'll pick this score. And it's fine to talk about that in July and June and SEC media days. But, like, when you're in the heat of it and you're in the emotional roller coaster, like, it's not as easy to stomach, well, you lost this game or you lost this game or however the season goes. So you sit at 5-3. There's still football to be played. I mean, is there anything in your mind that Marcus Satterfield could do to salvage, number one, just the offense, and number two, salvage his future? Because I know you see it, you feel it, I see it, I feel it. I mean, Gamecock Nation's done, man. They're done. They're done. And I mean, I'm done. I'm done. I just, because I felt like I'm as critical about personnel as anybody will be, because I know in the college lands, right? This isn't NFL, right, Steven? We're like, the Bucks or like right now, you're like, the Bucks are trash. This guy's trash. This guy's trash. Your favorite team signed somebody. In college, it's a little bit different. And I know you're probably like, what the hell do you mean? You played quarterback. You heard the worst. But it's a little bit different. You kind of walk a fine line because of amateurism, which kind of going out the window, we could argue. But either way, it's just a different dynamic. But I'll be as blatantly honest about personnel as anybody. But I look at the players on this offense, and I didn't leave Mizzou, by the way, Steven. I didn't leave that game saying, well, I want Satterfield gone because we should beat Tennessee. We should be scoring 50 a game. I want Sat gone because I'm like, I just know we're better than this. Like, you know what I mean? We're better than this. Like, you can think Jaheim Bell's overrated. I got some people that think that. But damn it, he's one of the best players on this offense.
Right.
And I've seen him make plays, and he has a skill set. It's just – and obviously fans, Steven, they want it to make sense, and it's just the farthest thing from it right now. So is there anything you think that can be salvaged where he could win back any positive favor to assure people he's the guy? Or is it just, do you think it's a kind of a lost cause and just try to win as many as you can in the meantime at this point?
I think maybe he's been sandbagging us. I mean, I don't know. But
he's sandbagging son of a bitch, you.
Just completely changed the entire offense. Like, literally change the entire offense. Run a no huddle. Run up tempo. Throw a quick game. Get Spencer on design rollouts instead of having him scramble around. I mean, there's so many different things that, as a former player, as a fan now, like, that I feel like he could do. But maybe he's stuck in his ways. I don't know. But I think for him to have any sort of future or anything with the garnet and black, I think he has got to change 180 degrees. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, I just don't see how he can retain his job. I just, with the amount of social media and the crazy people that are out there, calling for his head, I just think that puts so much pressure. I mean, I've read all the comments on Twitter and everything else. Like, if he retains Satterfield, I'm done. I'm off the Shane train. I'm off this. I mean, don't think for one second he doesn't hear it's not in the back of his head. I mean, Coach Beamer's a smart guy. He's the head coach for a reason. He's going to make the decision that, ultimately benefits the team, but it's also going to, he wants to keep his damn job. I mean, there's not anybody that's want to go down with a sinking ship. So I don't know. I love Coach Satterfield as a person. I really do. He's been cool as shit to me. But he's got to change something because everyone's calling for his head. I mean, I see it every single game.
Steven, are football coaches hard-headed? Would you say that? Do they feel like my way worked? Like it,
Yes,
1,000%.
fucking absolutely, absolutely. You have to be hard-headed to play this sport. I mean, that's just what it is. Especially, look, some of these old school guys. You think Saban's going to change? He's not changing the way he's
evolved offensively. Wouldn't you agree? I mean,
I don't know, man. I think he does it his way.
Yeah.
You don't think Muschamp's hard-headed? You don't think?
Well, I mean, that's obvious. Yeah.
These guys, especially the old school kind of guys that played back in the day. I mean, these guys are not changing their minds. Yeah. They're just not. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of guys. I mean, that's kind of what we've been taught since Little League. It's like if you're hurt, you got to play. You got to play through it. If you want to complain, keep it to yourself. You got to be hard-headed. You got to stay in the fight, and that's just what it is. I mean, I am probably the most hard-headed motherfucker out there, and I'm not changing shit. I'm too damn old to change, and that's kind of what these guys are saying now. It's like, I mean, my grandmother had lung cancer and was still smoking cigarettes, and she's like, "Fuck it, like I'm not changing. This is what I'm gonna do. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not changing." So she's how I got the roach blood. There's no doubt about that. She's out of her mind. She's crazy as hell. But yeah, man. Question. Yeah, these coaches are very hard-headed, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot for them to make some sort of adjustment, in my opinion.
Yeah. On that note, Steven, it's funny. My grandfather was the same way. He passed away in 2014 at the age of 76. So he lived a long, full life, but he smoked, he drank scotch, and he literally just told me, he said, "Son, between the drinking, smoking, and old age, something's going to get me eventually. So I'm going to live life I want to." I was like, I respect the hell out of that. I mean, hey, why not? Yeah. But, I think it's funny. Speaking of the comments on social media, Steven, I just think what you see, because I think I think, and there's very few of it. Let me make that clear. But the fire beamer stuff is outrageous, middle of year 2. But I think what you see is people have PTSD from the previous staff and regime. And it's been a long time since we had a good offense. I'll be honest. I think that's where a lot of it stems from. We just have not had a good offense in a long time. And it's hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch.
No, I'd agree. I honestly, I don't remember the last time we had an offense that was just lighting people up. I mean, it has been a long ass time. Yeah. I don't know if it's, because Muschamp obviously was a defensive minded head coach, so that had something to do with it. But I don't know. But yeah, I think it's way too early to do the fire Shane Beamer plan. Yeah, I think it's just the frustration coming from why is he not calling out Satterfield in the media? Why is he not changing? Why is he not making any sort of drastic change? I think that's what it's stemming from. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, what I think what's so interesting, Steven, too, is we talk sad, obviously, and that's the topic of combo today. And I mean, dude, I probably got 40 voicemails on our call-in line after the game, and boy, there were some fun ones. I mean, there were some that I didn't play on air that people were livid. But I think what's so interesting with Satterfield is you look the damning evidence beyond just the stats. You've got the rumors of recruiting being affected. Guys don't want to come here, offensive guys, because they say the offense, they look at Tennessee and they're like, I want to go there instead, right? The offense at South Carolina, I don't believe it's going to be elite. It's, I'm not going to get showcased. And I guess we haven't done anything to change their mind. Then you got the Jaheim Bell stuff. Then you got the Josh Van comment from earlier in the season. You got Jaheim Bell's mom going off on social media. Then, Steven, and I know you saw this, then you got Spencer Rattler's comment in postgame, which was one of the most baffling comments I've ever seen, where he said, I don't know, did you see this quote?
I saw you posted it. It was something like, we have no idea where we're supposed to be.
Right. It's like, we got to get better at knowing what to do. That was the gist of it. I'm paraphrasing, but knowing what to do. And listen, I understand heat of battle right after the game. You've been in that situation. Your brain's going 1,000 miles an hour. The last thing you want is media guys asking you really probably dumb questions, or at least you feel like are dumb questions. But
right,
that response, man, I mean, my jaw was on the floor. I just could not believe what I heard,
And that's gonna be a very interesting conversation he's gonna have with Satterfield and Coach Beamer, I feel like.
Right.
I mean, doesn't matter how frustrated you are or anything else. I don't think you want to go in the media saying that, calling out your coaches, because that shit will backfire. I can promise you that.
So I want to go back to Rattler, Steven, because I will say this. The conversation and noise gets louder and louder. I know you mentioned earlier, and I don't disagree with you. You know, what is he doing that Luke Doty, Dak Joyner, anybody else on the roster really wouldn't be doing? Do you think it would be in the best interest for them to try another hand at QB?
Why not? Like I said, I mean, what's the worst that happens? What's
Maybe
the worst?
it sparks the football team.
I don't know. Like you said, we're second to last in offense in the SEC behind freaking Vanderbilt. That's not a good spot to be at. I would be shocked if we didn't see some sort of drastic change relatively soon.
I did like somebody on social media said Jaheim Bell might get 3 direct snaps and even kick the punt on the first drive just to prove a point.
Why not? Why not? Get the ball in his hand and just see what happens.
Get him the football. Why not? And it's, you know, it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be awesome if it happens, but it's going to be almost infuriating too if like this weekend they make it a point of emphasis. All right, we're getting Jaheim the ball, and then he goes off and Carolina has their best offense game. It's like, it was there the whole time. It was just sitting there, just waiting on him.
Right.
I just, it's, you know, I'll tell you this, Steven. I had my doubts about Sat coming in the season, but it is baffling to me. And again, I want to give Mizzou credit. They've got a good defense. They got good players, but it really, I really did think that the offense would take a major jump and make major strides. And it's just shocking to me how bad it's been. I mean, because again, I'm very honest with personnel. You know, we still have a lot of, long ways to go to upgrade guys across the board, but I just don't feel like I've gotten what I expected I was going to get out of Spencer Rattler, the weapons we added, anything. It's, and I'm not even trying to have like an overreaction on a Monday after a loss, but
I mean,
man,
yeah,
it's crazy how bad it's been. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Without a few special teams, breakthrough games, I mean, who knows what our record will be. It's been tough to watch. But I'm an optimistic person, so I'm hoping there's some sort of change, and all of a sudden we start lighting people up. The problem I think that everybody knows that we have that capability, we have the players to do it, and I think that's what the frustration is kind of. Stemming.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Steve. I compared it, and I love Coach Beamer, and then you listen to Sat talk about, if it was up to me, I'd get Jaheim Bell the ball 20 times a game. And like you hear them say like, well, we got a lot of good players and we got to get them all the football. And some weeks they'll get it a lot, some weeks they won't. But I equated a couple of weeks ago, man, to, can you imagine, 1 week Marcus Lattimore has 28 carries for 170 and 3 touchdowns. The next week he has like 4 carries. It's like, I just, that don't make any sense to me. Like,
right. Well, that's, I mean, it kind of stems or kind of comes back to, what we've been talking about over the last few weeks is what is our identity as an offense? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows other than it's kind of shitty.
Slow, methodical, putrid, sputter.
And listen, and I hate saying that. I absolutely hate saying that it's shitty. Because I was on the other end of this conversation where people are like, man, get fucking Garcia, get him out of here. He sucks. He's not the answer. And then, come to find out, Connor ends up being the fucking GOAT. So, but it sucks when as a kid, as a college player, you got people talking shit, but at the end of the day, I forgot who the guy was, but we didn't go there to play school. We went there to play ball. We came to play on Saturday nights, Saturday under the, and in front of a lot of people, and hopefully one day get paid to do it. So, I don't know. It's a whole different era now, but it's disappointing. It's frustrating. That's probably the biggest problem is that it's just frustrating.
I know you guys, Steven, obviously checked a lot, and you had Steve Spurrier on the sideline, so it made a lot of sense, right? But do you prefer, like when you watch us, would you prefer to see more of an up-tempo, fast, like that's what Tennessee's doing? They're having great saves. Granted, they've got their players, whatever, but like, would you prefer that, or do you like the checking before the play? Because I know that just frustrates a lot of people when it's just like, dude, like and then you do all that checking and pre-snap, and you get a yard. It's like,
right.
What was the point?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we switched it up. We went up tempo sometimes, and we'd take our time. We'd huddle up, but other times, we'd get up tempo, and you got to keep the defensive coordinators off their toes. You got to keep the defensive players that you're playing against. You got to keep them on their toes. So I don't fully understand. And another thing is, like, with the whole check with me thing, Coach Berger gave me a lot of leniency with audibling. But I was also kind of a chicken shit because I was like, dude, I already get my ass chewed out enough. Like, I don't want to hear about this on fucking Monday morning. Why'd you check this play? I didn't feel like arguing with them. So, we call a little dummy cadence, and I look over here and say, all right, coach, you're calling the plays. What the fuck do you want to run? And sure as shit, we'd call a play. And, if it worked, he's the genius. If it didn't work, then I'm the asshole. So, at the end of the day, man, the Coach Berger could do no wrong. There's, everybody knows that.
Right.
I always caught the blame. And that's kind of the most curious part about this whole season, really, is why is it always fire? It's always on Satterfield. It's not really kind of translating into, Rattler, I guess. But who knows? Again, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what these guys are seeing on tape. I don't know what they're hearing. I don't know what they're being coached to do. So I don't want to speculate too much, man. I don't like throwing people under the bus because I know what it's felt like to get ran over by the bus.
Well, I want to say this, though, just on that note, when you're watching the games, do you feel like there are a lot of plays there to be made that Rattler or somebody else isn't making?
For sure. Absolutely. But I don't know what he's coached to look at. I don't know where his eyes are looking at. I don't know what side of the field he's supposed to be, what his progressions are. I don't know. But it's always easy it's so much easier to sit here and watch TV and say, oh man, he's fucking wide open. It's always a lot easier to do that. But when you got guys that are chasing your ass, running around all over the place, it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know, by the way, Steven, just a side note, if you see in the comments, but there's somebody that has changed their name to Marcus Satterfield. Yeah. I'm sure that's him commenting.
Yeah.
I love that. What it sounds like, definitely, though, coming from you, man, it's not a simple answer, but when you're in the position of where Sat is and you're the one getting the check, it's like it just comes with – it comes with it. It just comes with it, man. It's a results-oriented business. And
speaking of checks, how much is Rattler? How much is he making?
I mean, no, listen, that's a great point. That's a fantastic point. It's a fantastic point.
So it's almost like the Dak Prescott thing. Like, the Cooper Rush guys kind of was killing it in the beginning of the year, but it's like we're paying Dak this much money. Like he's our guy. He's our guy. So
how much does NIL affect who plays and who doesn't? I mean.
That's the thing. That's a very valid question, and I don't know the answer because this whole thing is brand new to me. And
and what's interesting about that? You mentioned the Dak Prescott. Like the interesting thing is like what Dak's salary is. Like we don't know what anybody's NIL. Like we don't know specifics. We can't. That's not public knowledge. So it is an interesting dynamic for sure, man. It's
But I'm definitely hopeful that we kind of switch something up. Whether it be up tempo, whether it be a change of quarterback. I mean, we don't have to bench Rattler. I mean, start him. See if he can handle the up-tempo offense or the change in offense. Who knows? Sorry, my mom just got here knocking on the door. Hold on a second. But yeah, I'm gonna open the door for real quick.
Go ahead. You're good. Love this. I'm just reading the comments here.
I'm on a podcast. Good. What are you doing? But yeah, I'm hopeful that we're doing some sort of change in that, whether it be QB1 or just offensively. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Steven, again, there's a lot of football to be played, and while today the theme of today, of course, is Therapy Monday, I'm ranting. Everybody's ranting that the phone lines are going to be off the hook, and as it should be. Again, there's a lot of football left to go, and you return to SEC play, go on the road now to Vanderbilt. First, talk your experiences in Nashville. Let's not even beat around the bush and say it's some hostile environment. It's not. No. The easiest place to play in the SEC, so that shouldn't be too much of a factor. There'll be a ton of Gamecocks, I'm sure, that'll make the road trip. Your experiences playing at Vandy. I mean, you guys had some close games though. And I will say, to your credit, I mean, y'all played against the best Vandy teams like ever with James Franklin. And I mean, those guys were good when y'all played them.
For sure. And Vanderbilt, everybody, it was always like, oh, Vandy this, Vandy, they suck. But for some reason, we always played them, or they always played us tough, no matter where it was, whether it was in Williams-Brice are up there. Shit, I remember throwing 3 picks in the first half against Vanderbilt. And 2 of them weren't my fault, but they go on my stat sheet.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, they always played us tough. But yeah, playing up in Nashville, shit, I loved going up to Nashville. It was very scenic. Not much, but yeah, as far as playing up there, it's almost like playing in a high school stadium. And I'm sure I'm going to catch shit from the 55 Vanderbilt fans on here, but whatever. Maybe they can handle the truth a little bit more than the Kentucky folks.
Yeah, I think they'll probably just shake your hand and embrace that one, man. I don't know how much they can really refute that, right? Steven, before I get you out of here, of course, man, on the Vandy game, I mean, I won't get into too much of specifics, but outside of just getting a win, and listen, it's not a given, right? Vegas drops the spread, and you're a touchdown favorite, and this game is all about South Carolina's offense, man. You look at Vanderbilt, I think they've got either the second worst or the worst passing defense in the SEC. This is the game, man. It's got to come together offensively. It's got to click. I think defensively you'll play well. Beamer ball will be, but it's all about the offense, man. Even if you win 17-14 or 17-10, did you really accomplish much of anything, right? Outside of punching your ticket to bowl eligibility. But again, the season's not over. I'm excited to Steven, to see how this team bounces back, how they respond to adversity, and if they can secure that 6th win, because hey, in year 2 of Beamer, people may not like to hear it, but getting to a bowl game is still a success, and it keeps your program trending in the right direction.
Absolutely. But yeah, to go, yeah, we gotta show some sort of pride on offense, and we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. Like you said, if they have that bad of a passing defense, we better fucking light it up. Otherwise, there's who knows? I don't know if Satterfield will last the rest of this year if shit keeps going the way it is.
That is a very, very good point indeed, my friend. Last thing, you a big Halloween guy? I've had people tell me I should dress as Steven Garcia for Halloween. I think it's just because we both have beards, man. I really think that's what it is.
For sure.
You take the kids out trick or treating, or are you a Halloween guy at all? Do you care for it or what?
I was in college for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
College. That was like Christmas for me. But yeah, I'm gonna take the kids over to my brother and his wife's family. They live out in South Tampa, so I'm gonna take the kids over there and try to steal all their candy.
What was the move, man, when you were at Carolina? Was it house party? Was it 5 points? Were you a costume guy, not costume guy? Like, we obviously saw Johnny Manziel in college, right? Rocking the infamous Scooby-Doo picture. Like, I'm surprised there's not a Steven Garcia, whatever costume you would have worn.
Yeah, my costume was a birthday suit. That was my costume. And it was a house party. We had house parties, man. That we probably had. I mean, other than the Alabama game, that was probably the second most people we had at our house. And I'm not exaggerating when I say we probably had close to 200, 250 people in our house for Halloween. I mean, every single person on the team was dressed up. I mean, every single female was dressed up. I mean, it was a good old time. That was for sure.
Good old times. Love it, man. Well, happy Halloween, man. Be safe. Enjoy it with the kiddos. I guess Halloween looks a little different for the Roach King these days. But, hey, it's a good thing. Evolution. Even the roach has to evolve. Even the roach must evolve.
You have to. The most evolved freaking species on this planet.
That's it. You can't kill the roach. Roach King, I appreciate it. Hey, I'll by the way, I'll reach out to you, man. I might actually have to slide down to Tampa because I am close. So
if you sneak out, man, let me know.
Yeah, man. I'll hit you up. Hey, I appreciate you as always, man. Always a pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. See you.
Yeah, man. Great stuff. Roach King out. Guys, I apologize on my end, some of the technical issues, stuff like that. That was a great conversation. And some very honest words from the former Gamecocks quarterback, and always a pleasure and a real treat to chat with him. Panic Ritter, I will get to your text, and we will get to your calls, guys. It's 12:55. Let's jump into a break. It'll probably be our only break of the day because I expect the phone lines to be ringing off the hook here on this Monday. 843-790-3377. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Okay, guys, we're back taking your questions, comments, calls. We probably will not take another break the rest of this show because I'm sure the phone lines will be ringing off the hook. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Let me get to a text. Panic Ritter is going to kill me if I don't read his text. He says, Satterfield, you suck. You ruined a perfect weekend, and Beamer better grow some and fire Sat. P.S. You suck monkey, Satterfield. Just love your show, Chris. Thanks, Panic Ritter. You're the man. Somebody texts in, sometimes you just have to agree that a change is necessary before you make a drastic one. Another text, do you think Beamer's having a conversation a Sat behind closed doors about play calling, or do you think he's just letting it ride? I mean, I think, listen, man, they're not stupid, right? They understand what's got to happen. They understand what the deficiencies are, what the shortcomings are. They're not fools, right? Again, appreciate the Roach King taking the time to chat. Guys, phone lines are wide open. And excuse me. Actually, they're not. Now they're wide open. Phone lines are wide open, guys. Those, by the way, sorry, Dalton, go ahead, call in. I just cut them on. My bad. Coach 4, appreciate tuning in. Yeah, I did not intentionally not stream, guys, to Facebook. I would not do that. I would not do that without letting you all know. For some reason, Facebook Live not working, having issues. I think it's the only one, too, because I think we have folks in on Twitch and on Twitter as well. So I don't know what the deal is. There we go. Dalton, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, man? I don't know if you saw this, but just breaking news 5 minutes ago, Brian Harsin has been fired at Auburn. So just an update on that in case you're interested.
I did not see that. Wow. Okay. Wow. Dominoes start to fall.
So, yeah, but basically, you know, I wanted to call in and give my take on the future or sort of the rest of the season that we have left. And again, you know, you said it before, you got to keep perspective. I do not think that we're going to just lose every single game the rest of the season. Obviously, we have to, play better on offense. I also don't think Satterfield is going to be released. In the middle of the season, unless something goes wildly wrong, obviously. If we fail to make a bowl game, then I think he could be released, but I just don't see it at this point. But my main focus right now is you look at the situation at the OC position, and I agree with you. It would be literally career suicide for Shane Beamer to retain Marcus Satterfield at this point. I mean, they both know he's got to go.
Yeah.
He knows that he's going to be out of a job. Beamer knows that he's going to be out of a job. The fan base knows that he's going to be out of a job. But so really the concern goes to who exactly are we going to get to replace him after he is released, right? Because, you know, a lot of people have said it. It's like this may be the integral, decision for head coach for Shane Beamer as the head coach at South Carolina. This may be the make or break for him, I think, because if you go and you hire another guy and it doesn't work out, then we get another 3 seasons of terrible offense and going 6-6. Who knows? People will probably then turn on him. So my question to you is, who would you like to see as our OC after Satterfield is released? And do you think that, we can get this situation righted at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Dalton, I haven't done a ton of research in regards to who's available and who's out there. Obviously, I think Garrett Riley is a name that jumps out to you. Phil Longo is another one that I've seen. I just want somebody who comes in and brings an exciting up-tempo offense where the best players are featured and highlighted early and often. I want a quarterback-friendly offense, and preferably someone who has a track record of success. Like, because I think you and I agree, Dalton, and, I talked a little bit earlier in the first hour right before Steven came on that I think it was the right move for Shane Beamer to bring Sat back. And the reason was because I think you and I agree, like, this second OC is the one Beamer will be judged on, Like if the second one's a swing and miss, then I think folks will write off Shane Beamer. Whether that's fair, whether that's unfair, right? I think Gamecock fans are willing to give him a pass, right, for missing on Marcus Satterfield, especially when you look back when he was hired, how it happened. He thought he was going to retain Mike Bobo, right? And then he kind of pulled the rug out from under him there when he left. And so, Beamer's scrambling around to get a guy, and you land on Marcus Satterfield. Was he his first option? No. So I think this fan base will give Beamer the pass on that. But if you miss on the second one, and I just don't know, Dalton, do you think it'll be good enough? I don't think it'll be good enough to bring in a guy who does not have a track record, that has a Marcus Satterfield type of resume. Like, you need to bring in a guy who has proven success.
My question to you is this. Now, obviously, these are just rumors, message board type stuff, rumors on Twitter. But it seems like the chatter coming out of the building is that Shane Beamer is committed to running this, pro-style mesh type of system that Marcus Satterfield is attempting to run. Failing to run it effectively, but I'm sure if you had a Brock Bowers or, some of the players they have at Georgia, some of the players they have at Bama, you could make it work. But I just don't see a quote unquote pro style system working here. Yeah. Like, you need a system that is you need a system that's creative. You need a system like what TCU is running, what Oklahoma State is running, what Tennessee is running. None of those systems are pro style. Yeah. Not saying you have to copy them, but you're just never going to get the talent year in, year out to run a pro style system effectively, And I just think the commitment to that is unfounded.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this, man, and listen, I love Beamer, but if that is the case, and he's committed to the pro style and he's committed to what Sat wants to do, that's disappointing. That's disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an offensive coordinator. I'm smarter than Shane Beamer. I'm smart, but I see what's happening on the field, and I see a lot of, what I feel like is a lot of talented players that, their talents are going for naught. How much money has Jaheim Bell lost this year? How much money has Josh Van lost? Guys that came, or, guys that were banking on trying to, this season to boost their draft stock. Hell, I could argue Antoine Wells has lost money. He could have balled out at James Madison and been a high draft pick. The school didn't matter.
Spencer Rattler.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and of course, Rattler his draft stock is non-existent anymore. So, all we can do as fans is go off of what we see. I tell people all the time, when people want to come down on the fan base, and it's not just South Carolina, but specifically with this fan base, people want to say, well, you shouldn't be so negative. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't act this way. All Gamecock fans is a product of the results on the field. That's it. Because all Gamecock fans did the last 2 weeks, and all I did was celebrate and talk shit and be joyful and merry and smoke the packs and have a great time. You know what I mean? So we may not be offensive coordinators, but I don't have to be a chef to tell you when the food tastes like shit. The offense is trash, dude. It's anemic. It's boring. I used the adjective sputter to describe it a couple weeks ago, and that feels way too kind at this point. So,
well, it looks like people are confused about what to do. Like, even when we take a timeout, we still have to check for the play. Like, why do we not have it ready after the timeout? Like, what's the point of taking the timeout? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to go to the line and audible every single play? Why do we have, guys standing there for 30 seconds, like getting a delay of game penalty, not knowing what to do? All of these things shouldn't happen. I mean, we're playing D1 SEC football. This is one tier lower than the NFL.
Yeah. And
I don't see most NFL offenses doing that,
Yeah. I mean, dude, the stats that I was referring to when I talked to Stephen Garcia that Brad Crawford pointed out, I want to make, I want to highlight these. South Carolina's averaging 20.2 points per game and 313.6 yards per game against SEC teams this season. And only Vanderbilt is worse in both categories. I mean, that is it's pathetic. That's just pathetic. 20.2 points per game.
Yeah,
I mean, you can blame the players all you want, but Marcus Satterfield's name his name is the one that's on it, you know.
And I mean, most of those points that we scored are on short fields or after a turnover or
it's a very good point.
You know, off of a special teams play, something like that. If we don't have a short field to work with, it's like you can just feel that we're not going to be able to go down the field and get a touchdown when we need one. And you know, most teams you shouldn't have to feel that way, especially with the players we have. You know. As soon as Marshawn Lloyd is not in the game, it's like you know that you're going to go 3 and out pretty much every single time.
I don't know.
God forbid you get a.
I was just going to say, I don't know if there's.
God forbid you get like a delay a game or something like that puts you behind the chain. You know.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if there's a statistic for it, but to your point, I'd just love to know like how many times that we've scored have they actually been like drives. Like I don't know if there's like a quality drive metric or you know I would say I think I just want to look back and see like how many drives did we go more than 50 yards. Like to your point, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the scores have been we've been set up by the defense of the special teams making plays, you know. And so I mean I love Beamer ball. It's Beamer ball to the moon. But unfortunately, I would tell you this, Dalton, and listen, if Marcus Satterfield has been so hard-headed to this point, I hope Steven Garcia is right. I hope we revamp. I hope we do different things. I just don't see it. I think Sat is truly stuck in his ways. I think he feels like, and you mentioned it, maybe Beamer is committed to it, but I think if nothing else, Marcus Satterfield is committed to his pro style scheme. That'll be his undoing too. But I think he's committed to it. I think this team, and you and I both agree, season's not over. A lot of football left to be played. But if this team's going to get to, let's just say 7-5, it will have to be because of elite special teams play, above average defensive play, and the offense just kind of existing. That's it. I think that's who this team is this year. That's who this team is and who they're going to be the last 4 games. Plus one, hopefully, with a bowl game. I don't see.
Well,
we're not all of a sudden going to turn to Tennessee, you know what I mean, against Vanderbilt. We're not going to do it.
Let me ask you this. So let's say, you know, we do get rid of, I don't want to be the guy to play the hypotheticals, but this is a very realistic hypothetical, I would say. Okay. Let's say we get rid of Marcus Satterfield, which will happen. I've got like a 100% confidence level on that.
Same.
And then we promote Freddie Kitchens, which is, again, very realistic, could happen. He's already, you know, an analyst with the program. Don't know if he wants the OC job, but he already works for us. You know, he's been an OC before. He's been an NFL head coach, although I've already, you know, told you my reservations about hiring any other NFL guys.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that would fix this, or do you think we need to go completely outside the box and we need to get a guy on the outside of our building that is a proven guy that can come in and change the system completely over the off season and get us in the direction that we think we need to be going?
So Kitchens or the field is basically what the question is, correct?
Yeah, Kitchens or someone else.
An outsider.
An outsider. You know,
I would
take your pick off the hot board.
Yeah, I would.
Mullen, Longo.
Yeah, I would tell you I'd rather go outside. I would, because, and I got nothing against Freddie Kitchens. He might be the answer. I don't know, but it feels like a lazy move. You know, it just feels like a lazy move. And we've seen it before, and I think that'll give fans PTSD too. Maybe I've got it also, but we saw this under Muschamp. You got rid of Roper. Brian McClendon got promoted to the OC position for the bowl game against Michigan, and then he ends up getting the job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Kitchens is going to run the exact same thing that Satterfield is doing, but I'd prefer to go bring in new ideas from the outside. That's just me. I'd prefer to out with the old, in with the new, bring somebody else in. Go get like I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Shane Beamer needs to get a dude. Because when he was hired at South Carolina, what did he promise, Dalton? He didn't promise winning an SEC title. He didn't promise winning a national title. He promised, we're going to bring in the best assistants. We're going to bring in top-notch assistants. And that's what we all thought was going to happen, right? He's going to take lower pay, and they're going to go out and get, and he's a new head coach, right? He's a new head coach. But he's going to surround himself with the best. And he's going to be a CEO type of coach. And thank goodness Clayton White has worked out, right? For the most part, I think Clayton White, we'd all agree, we love Clayton White. Pete Limbo has worked out.
Torian Gray. Yeah.
But Gray. I'm talking about the coordinators. They've worked out. Those two have worked out. You got to go get a guy. I mean, I think you got to get a dude. You got to get a name. Dalton, you've got to go get somebody, in my opinion, that injects confidence in the fan base, that like real optimism. Because even when Satterfield was hired, there wasn't a sense of optimism and confidence. There was just a trusting in your new head coach, Shane Beamer. Well, I mean, what other choice do you have, right? You got to believe in the guy. I mean, he had just gotten hired. What are you're gonna start doubting him off the jump, right? So I would prefer go get someone from the outside, somebody who has a track record. They've got a positive resume. That again, they have produced at a high level, not at Temple, not at East Tennessee State, not at wherever else, Slapdick Community College. I don't know. Go get somebody who's actually got a resume and got a name. I that's what I would prefer.
Well, the question then becomes: do you think the OC job at South Carolina is held in that high of a regard? Because if I was Shane Beamer right now and I said, boosters, we're going to basically write a blank check to whoever you want, I would go out and get Dan Mullen if he wanted the job. The problem is a lot of these jobs, especially coordinator positions, have a lot of that, pedigree and esteem, built into it. And I don't understand why, the South Carolina OC job, if money isn't a factor, is held at such lower regard in the coaching industry. But it seems like that's the reason why we can't go out and land an established dude, why we can't go and get Phil Longo from UNC and pay him more, why we can't hire Garrett Riley at TCU and pay him more, why we can't go out and get Dan Mullen. Like that's the reason why we have to keep on taking waivers. And I don't understand it. Do you understand it?
I do not. I mean, the only things I could think of are our history. Maybe some people look and say, well, they've never been good on offense. I mean, you think about it, my guy. How many great – I mean, there aren't many teams at South Carolina that really stand out as, man, that year we were just elite offensively. Like 2014, we had a really good offense. What Dylan Thompson did set the passing record. I think 2006, we were ranked in the top third in the conference in offense, yardage-wise. Steve Tannehill, I guess, throwing it around, Todd Ellis and Sterling Sharp, the George Rogers year. But, I mean, there haven't been – I mean, and I guess, with Lattimore, but even then we were, like, middle of the pack. So I don't know if that factors in. I don't think that should be an issue. I don't know. And I don't really know. I can't really speak to what type of regard I guess it's held into. But, yeah, you need to get a dude, man, either way. And I guess if you promote Kitchens – Will I say you upgraded from Satterfield? Well, yeah. I mean, I think you could go be the OC. No disrespect, Dalton, but you'd be an upgrade, like any of us would. The kid watching in the stadium that I was going to say that the kid in the stadium watching the game that plays Madden every day would be an upgrade right now. It feels like, but I think you need to get.
We can go to NCAA 14.
There you go. Yeah, we'll start running double sluggos and four verts and all that good stuff. Read option, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's just the conversation I wanted to start. I mean, I know a lot of, the slapdick take is that, Marcus Satterfield's going to come back and, he's going to get a 5-year extension. That's not going to happen.
I don't think so either.
that it's not going to happen. So my focus now turns to, Shane Beamer's got to start making calls, engaging interest right now. And for the love of God, just go out and get a guy that runs a college offense that is successful, has been successful, is regarded within the collegiate coaching industry. Please don't go out and get another guy with NFL experience. I understand that NFL experience is good in certain aspects, but we don't need to run another NFL style offensive system.
Because here's the thing, to your point, Dalton, you can run an NFL style offense all you want, but if you don't produce, you ain't going to the NFL no matter what. It don't matter if you know the NFL scheme. If you're not putting up numbers in the SEC, if you're not putting up numbers at the college level, who's drafting you? Is Spencer Rattler going to get is his draft stock higher now because he played in a quote-unquote NFL scheme? No, because his numbers stink. Yeah, I don't.
Exactly.
Run a college offense. Have numbers in the college level. Because I got to be honest, all due respect, I mean, I want all these guys to do well at the NFL, but if they don't do well at South Carolina, what do we care about the rest of their career? I mean, I'm sorry, but, we're selfish as fans. I don't just want to be a school that, we produce great NFL players, but they ain't really worth a damn at Carolina, or the numbers aren't good. Who cares? Put up numbers here.
Right.
So,
I mean, if you do that, you'll make it to the NFL level.
Exactly. Exactly.
They find talented players.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So that's all I really
Dalton,
got to say.
I appreciate you, man. Phone lines are ringing off the hook. I appreciate you, dog. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yeah, man. You too. Here we go.
Call from.
Hey, it's me. I'm a Gamecock fan.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Chris?
Yo, what's up?
Oh, my bad, man. I thought this was Gamecocks Anonymous. I don't normally call on Mondays. I'm sorry. This is awkward. Well, since I got you on here, I'll just say I'm not going to name anybody's roosters or anything like that, and I don't have to watch film for 8 hours or be a Zaxby's Hall of Famer to tell you. But our offense sucks. Rattler sucks. Or has sucked. Let me put the has so far. I mean, there may be, that's Marcus. I don't know. Most of that. But I don't know. You definitely have to make a change this week or something. You got to spark, like Steven was saying. Why not try somebody else? It don't have to be a start. You could put them in for a series just to see what happens. And that would be in Doty. Anybody like that, I don't care. It could be Dak, I don't want to be one of them Dak guys, but I'm open for anything. You've heard me in the Big Cock Club talk about this. Something's got to be done this week. If he's not fired this week, to show the fan base that you hear us, and I know he hears us, but you know what I'm saying, that he's willing to do something. And if he's not going to fire him until end of season, there has to be adjustments for Vanderbilt. You got to take shots. You got to run slants across the middle. You got to feed Lloyd if he's healthy. You got to have, if you're going to run Juju, run him to the outside. Juju's not a in between the tackles running back. I mean, if me and Joe Smo, with a high school education, football, high school football is my peak, and I can see this stuff. These guys that are paid millions of dollars, this should be elementary to them. But yet they're trying to make this into like some kind of trigonometry, like equation that our ego-led offense. I don't know, but this pro-style stuff isn't the answer. At least not right now with whatever the issue is. And I wish I knew it. I think we all know it, like what we think it is. But how much of it is sad? How much is it Rattler running it? Because like Steven says, it's easy to point out on TV or even in the stands how many times I yelled out this past Saturday, dude's wide open, and he checks it down to like the third receiver. Yeah, it's a catch for 20 yards, but it could have been a score if he'd thrown the ball to whoever it was running across the middle, those times. So it's just frustrating, man.
I'm just echoing everything. It's Therapy Monday. I'm literally laying. I reclined my. I thought this was anonymous, the Gamecock Anonymous. So I've laid my seat down in the truck right now. I'm looking at my ceiling. It's just rough right now. It sucks to suck. The season's not over. That's the big thing. You just want to look good, man. We want to look good. We're going to get bowl eligible, and it's going to be a success, as far as that, as year 2 under Beamer. People's not looking at that as a check mark, but it is. So we know that deep down, if we want to admit it or not, it would be a goal that we need to continually, that be the floor. Never not make a bowl game. 2 years in a row, that's establishing that. But, man, something's got to be done. If it's kitchens, if it's somebody out from the kitchen, anybody. I'm willing to try anything. Put me in, coach. Get something. Yeah. But that's all I got for you, Chris. Love the show. Go Gamecocks. And thanks for letting me be on.
I appreciate you, man. Always a pleasure. Great stuff. I did, we got our TDC questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord going. I did miss the joke at first. I understand now who that was and what he was saying. Yeah, this is Gamecocks Anonymous. This is it, man. So the whole lines.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Austin Greaseman, what's up, man? First thing, it was great to meet you on Saturday. What's going on?
Yeah, that was really good meeting you as well. And pro tip for anybody out there, if you want to get on TV, hold up the Beamer ball.
Dude, I love it, man. I really do genuinely appreciate that. That was incredible.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to point out that because the contract's going to be at an end, we're really looking at a situation where Beamer can't kick the can down the road. He's actually got to either move on with the new OC or he's got to make a statement by signing into a new contract, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's either one of the two, man. He's either got to move on or renew the contract, which, my God, man, I on what planet does that contract get renewed, man? I mean, holy smokes. The sky will really be falling if that happened.
Imagine the outrage on Twitter when that.
I think I'd just be I'd tweet something. Hey, I'm out of here. I'll look at Twitter tomorrow. No, I'd probably lose my shit.
So
I'd say that.
For that reason, I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that it's going to be over after this season.
Right.
So I don't think I think they want to make it smooth, so they probably aren't going to do anything mid-season. But yeah, I think it's done at the end of this year.
Yeah, I do too. I think it is also. I think Beamer, if he prefers to not make a move till then, whatever, fine. As long as the move is made after the season, I'll be fine, and I think everything else will be fine. I mean, obviously, I think it's obvious what has to be done. So, and I don't see any way that the move isn't made after season, and I don't even want to allow myself to think that there is a way that Shane Beamer could possibly believe that retaining him is a good idea. I refuse to believe that.
Yeah. To the point somebody made in the comments, I do think that the OC position at South Carolina is an attractive one, just because the talent that's there. You've got a head coach that's not going to step on the toes. That's going to let the new OC install their program, call their plays, and with a top 15 class coming in, transfers, the existing talent. I mean, you've got a special teams and defense that's already pretty good. So install a good offense. I mean, the opportunity to take a team from 6-6, 7-6 to actually a 9-3 program is there if you can install a good offense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, think about what this team right now would be with a good offense. I mean, yeah, again, it's like I said. It's like I said earlier, man. I didn't leave Mizzou saying fire Sat because we're not doing what Tennessee's doing. We're not scoring 50 a game. I'm fire sat because I just know we're better than what we're seeing. Like, we know we're better. We know we're better. I know Spencer Rattler's better. I know our playmakers are better. They can be utilized better.
Yeah. And this past weekend was the first time I've actually seen it there in person this season.
Right.
And everybody just, our offense looks like they're running in mud. Everything's slow. The passes, I mean, it zips, but man, nothing gets moving forward on the field. There's just, every play is stuck in mud because it's just like that 3rd and 18, the swing pass for 4 yards. It's extremely frustrating for everybody that's watching.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got. I wanted to say thanks for everything you're doing. It was great seeing you at the tailgate, and hopefully next time it's a much better situation.
Austin, I appreciate it, man. It was great to meet you also, and appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, man. Take care. Great stuff from Austin Griesman. Yeah, guys, again, phone lines are open. Keep them coming. 843-790-3377. Jump right back to it. Nick, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. Appreciate you asking what's going on.
Just a couple things. I've been watching the show today and just listening to people talk about, the OC change. I think we all can agree there's going to be a change made.
Yeah.
You can see the frustration on Beamer's face in the post-game presser. People was always asking about play calling. If I had to choose one play caller, if I was Beamer, to just go out and just get, as far as proven resume year after year, is Garrett Riley at TCU. I mean, you see what they're doing. I think they're ranked 3rd in the country in total offense. And I just think that's somebody like that Beamer needs to bring in with a proven record to try to turn the offensive narrative around at South Carolina. And as far as quarterback play, I'll say this and I'll hang up and let you talk about it because I know your phone lines are blowing off the hook. If I was Doty, I think Doty is probably, just watching him play, what little bit he has played this year has looked more comfortable than Rattler. But if I was Doty, I'd have the conversation with Beamer and Satterfield. If this isn't going to be my team, don't put me in and ruin a year of eligibility. Don't pull me for 2 or 3 series and change your mind or put somebody else in. Like if you're not committed to me as a quarterback this year, save my eligibility for later on.
I agree 110%.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
For sure.
But like I said, I'll hang up and let you talk about it because I know I've been watching your show. Your phone lines are blowing up, man. I appreciate what you do and enjoy your show every day, man. Have a good one.
Nick, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call. And listen, I agree with him 110%. If I'm Luke Doty, I'm not just taking garbage snaps. I'm not taking, just a series or here or there. It's either I'm the guy or I'm out. Save my eligibility. I'm either the guy or I'm moving on. So, and I think that's, I would urge him to do that, right? I would urge him to do that. He's got a future too. But Garrett Riley, I mean, I know Coach Ford's very adamant about Garrett Riley, which I think Coach Ford's caps button stuck today. But no, listen, I'd love that name. Garrett Riley be a damn good one. What he's done at TCU and the high flying offense there. So, yeah, absolutely. Garrett Riley would be a fantastic hire, I think. Guys, again, phone lines are open. I know my good friend Dave Garrick has tried to call in a couple times. Dave, you want to try to call back in, my friend? Every time you've been calling, we've had somebody on the line. So here we go. John Ever, what's up, man? How are you?
Not much, obviously. I just want to call in real quick. I had a second. But, dude, first of all, let me not necessarily get this out of the way, but it was great to drop by Saturday. Who knew that was what be the highlight of the day? But I was just a quick story. But I left about 5 minutes left in the game. I was really debating whether to just stick it out and push through it. And I decided to leave because I looked at the clock. I'm like, 5 minutes left in the game. You're down by 13. You haven't shown anything all day, basically. And I'm like, if people know me, I usually don't bail or anything, trust me. But I'm like, we're not showing anything all day. I'm like, I'm out. I told my mom, looked at it, I'm like, let's get out of here. So we left like early, so a lot of people did. And like,
yeah, I don't blame you, my guy. I don't blame you. So it was great. By the way, it was great to see you Saturday. Obviously at the tailgate, you guys coming by, it was cool. We had a lot of TDC folks out at the tailgate, and it was like TDC in person almost. But no, I don't blame you, man. It's listen, you're showing up to see a product, and that was as disappointing. I mean, I don't know that there could have been a much more disappointing result than what we saw. I don't know. I don't know if it's even possible.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Yeah, I couldn't get. I mean, like I was telling, honestly, I was telling people around me, including my mom, and there's some other older men sitting around me, and I turned to a couple guys behind me, and I'm like, I don't know if you noticed this, but it was like Satterfield was like the one series we scored the touchdown on for the end of the first half. He knew that he would throw down the field, relatively speaking. He threw down the field. We got down inside the red zone. Spencer ran in for a touchdown. And then, like, the very next series, you come out in the second half, and, like, you go away from that. So I'm like, I'm telling people around me, I'm like, you're throwing the football for success. Why are you going away from that?
Yeah.
It's like I've been, like, the same with you, like, trying to hold off for a couple weeks, and maybe it's because of the winning we've been doing.
And you think we were up tempo on that drive too, and just I don't know, we just never really went back to it. So
like he went away from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't care too long because like I said, the last one was the yellow. But it's just like I'm on the shuttle, I'm standing there while I'm waiting to get on and so we can get back to the car, and I'm like, I got home, dude, Saturday night, and we pulled in the driveway, and I told my mom when she was driving, and I'm like, thanks for listening. I basically told her, I'm like, thanks for listening to me throw my beans. That's what I was doing basically the whole way home. I'm like, I got nobody else to tell it to, so I got to tell somebody, throw my beans, spill it, and that's what I did. And like, I gave all my thoughts all the way home basically, and I wake up Sunday morning, I'm like, this sucks, but like you said, you posted something yesterday and said the sun is rising. We got a game this week, so
that's a fact, man. That's a fact, and thankfully
you get it all out of the game on Saturday, and that's what I did.
Yeah,
I'm like, let it go. Like,
thankfully, Vanderbilt is as screwed up and inconsistent as we are. So, in Florida, the same.
I'll think I'm quick about Vandy real quick. Like some people like, oh, like I still think we're better than Vandy. I know we'll talk Vandy later this week, but it's like. This is still a game despite the issues on the offensive side of the ball, this is still a game I think you should win. And I think you will.
Yeah.
That's just me. Because I've seen Carolina teams in the past few years that I don't know, out of battle offense, this one still go out there and beat Vanderbilt even when the offense doesn't great.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just go out and get a win on Saturday and I'm not going to wash away the disappointing result of Saturday, but that's my whole thing. And
yeah,
yeah. One other thing. We were in the car on the way home on the highway, and I looked at my mom. She's driving. I'm like, I'm sorry you had to sit through that. Because she came with me. I'm like, I'm sorry you sat through that with me.
Yeah. Yep, it was tough, man. Yeah, it was tough. John Edward.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, man.
I was gonna call you quick, and I had sex, but I didn't know you were down in Florida, but while you're down in a couple of days, just have a good time. Just good to see you.
I appreciate it, man. John Edward, you're the man. Appreciate you, guys. Phone lines continue to rock here. I know we got a lot of folks. I'm trying to get as many as I can in here. We've had a couple of you call in a couple of times, and we've missed you, so I apologize. Phone lines are busy, man. But that's what this is for. That's what this is for, man. It's Therapy Monday. It's Therapy Monday to the max. And, I mean, I was even surprised how long I ranted. The podcast that dropped this morning was about an hour and 15.
Hall of Famer.
Robbie Davis, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. Just finished eating my lunch, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
I am to the point that I am willing to see I can't believe I'm fixing to say this, but I'm willing to see. I'm willing to say this. I'm to the point that I honestly would be okay with, at least for a game or two, seeing a QB change just to see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, look at Spencer Rattler's stats. Look at his play: 5 TDs, 9 picks.
And I have no ill will towards Spencer, okay, because he's a better quarterback than probably I would ever be in my life, okay. And second of all, I'm not like over 6 foot tall, okay. But it was anytime he ran the ball, I was scared, to be honest with you. Anytime he ran it himself, I was scared. And whenever that one of the runs that he did, my stepdad looked at me and he said, whenever he dove with his head down. I was like, why did he dive? I would have slid, because if you slide, the ball's dead right then and there. Because if he would have gotten hit while diving and fumbled the ball, that would have been even worse. And I assure you, if I was the OC, okay, come hell or high water, I'd be finding ways to get Jaheim Bell the ball. Anybody that is a I call them special players, okay, the wide receivers, the running back,
right,
tight ends, the whole nine, okay. I would be like, I'm gonna figure out one way or another to get Jaheim Bell the ball, to get Stogner the ball, to get Brown the ball, to get Van the ball. I'm going to figure out some way that ball is moving forward, and we are not just moving the ball, but we are kicking your ass while going down the field.
Robbie Davis for OC. Why not? Better than Satterfield.
I'll do it. He ain't even got to pay me. I'll do it for food. He can pay me in food. I want to earn my paycheck, though.
I'm surprised you're not in Columbia right now, moving Satterfield's shit out of his office. I'm honestly shocked.
I told people sitting behind me, anybody want to give me a ride to Satterfield's house so I can go egg his house and put a bag of dog poop on his porch and light it on fire? Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not even joking. I was livid. If I knew I wasn't gonna get kicked out of the stadium, I probably would have went down there and slapped Satterfield across the head and said, "We are paying you too much for our offense to be looking like this." Because what I noticed in 2010 and 2011 and 2013 and 2014, okay, even though that was like over a decade ago, okay, just hear me out. Spurrier and that coaching staff figured out ways to get our dudes the football, okay? Ain't no question Lattimore was going to get the ball. Wasn't no question that Ace Sanders was going to get the ball. And it sure as hang wasn't no question that Alshon Jeffrey was going to get the ball. Because all they had to do with Alshon Jeffrey was just throw it up and let him go get it. Because I was convinced that there was no corner that could cover him because he was that good. Unless, of course, you're Darrelle Revis in the NFL. I didn't think there was anybody that could cover Alshon back in 2010 and 2011. And I agree with the other caller, not the one that just got off before me, but the other one, right? We look like even after coming out of a timeout, we look like we're confused and don't know what the heck to do. Football is not that hard, okay? It's hard to prepare for it, but it's not that hard. You're doing one of two things. You're either passing the ball or you're running the ball. And an offensive lineman's job is to block. All the offensive lineman's got to do is block long enough for us to get positive yardage. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
And we can't even do that.
It's that simple.
All you got to do is block long enough for us to get 5 to 10 yards or however many yards we can get and hang on to the football. That's all the lineman has to do is block and let the guys read the block and move the ball down the field. And we cannot do that right now. And I agree, and I think this is what's going to happen because I think Beamer he absolutely does not want to lose this job. He will fire somebody before he loses this job. I can guarantee you of that.
Yeah. I think Shane Beamer does not want to lose his job. That is an accurate.
He would be pissed off at himself if he lost this job. He does not want to lose this job, so I am fully convinced that at the end of the year, whether if we go to a bowl game or not, Satterfield's ass will be grassed and he will be led out the door and be told to leave Columbia.
Indeed. Robbie, I appreciate you calling in, man. We got 13 minutes. I know there's a couple people that want to call in. We've had
no problem, buddy.
Yeah, no, you're good. I just didn't want to think I was rushing you off, but I want to give everybody an opportunity.
No, you're
to call
good.
in
You're
today.
good. You're good. You're good. No problem. You have a safe trip back to Cola Greenville whenever you come back. Completely, you live in Cola. It's crazy. But you have a great time over there in Florida, and be safe going back.
Hey, Robbie. One last thing. Are you dressing up for Halloween?
I have an Ant-Man costume I haven't worn in like a couple of years. I don't even know if it still fits, but I'm going to try and put it on.
Ant-Man. Love that. Love that. On that note, Robbie, hey, I appreciate you.
And just in case, I'm going to get
up?
a bag of candy and see if any. Huh?
You going to get a bag of candy? I love it. All right, I'm going to jump into this
I'm
call,
gonna
Robbie.
get a bag of candy, and I'm going to sit on the porch and just see if any kids want candy. Because you never know. So.
Robbie, you're the man. I appreciate you, my dude. Have fun tonight. Be safe.
You too, buddy. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, brother. Take care. I apologize. We got a Florence number trying to call in that I thought I was going to get to right there. Call back in, please. Again, we're not taking any breaks. Next 11 minutes is all y'all's. Let's see. Jason in Georgetown says, curious your thoughts of an analyst, Lonnie Teasley, leading offensive line. The effect that's had. O-line didn't like they knew who to block when Mizzou would shift. Atkins still. But, yeah, he was against Kentucky and A&M also. I thought the line played much better. So, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'll tell you what, Chris. I've done a whole lot better, honestly. I just want to say, Gamecock Nation, I know y'all hurting. I mean, what an embarrassment Saturday to once again have to lose to Elijah Punchable Face Drinkwitz and the Mizzou Kitties. It's Satterfield have got to go. And I'm gonna try to make everything quick because I know you're trying to wrap your show up, man. I just go back to last year. Think about how many people were defending that, like adamantly. This is what you get. I tried to tell everyone last year, like, oh, we need more players. We need more talent. And I even heard a guy call in today on the 107.5 The Game. He was trying to tell Pearson and them guys that we had a talentless offense. I mean, for real, this is not these players' fault. We have talent. It's the clown running the show. He doesn't know what he's doing. I tried to tell everybody this last year, and that it didn't matter what you added to this team. If the foundation is faulty, it's not going to matter in the end, and that's just proven to be true. Shame on people still trying to blame these players. That's absurd to me. But you know, as the Cockfather Keith Allsett would say, you know, Shat's gonna Shat, and that's what he did. I mean, I don't know, man. I seen the writing on the wall, and this is just, I don't know. I'm trying to deal with this, trying to cope with it, and yeah, I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what needs to happen, man. We all know at this point. You know, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, hopefully, and I don't foresee Beamer. I got enough confidence in Beamer that I think he's gonna, you know, because I think he knows that could lead to endangering his own job security at some point. So I think he's gonna make the decision that needs to be made. That, you know, December can't get here soon enough, or maybe it's after the bowl, but you know, hopefully we can go out and get someone good. I would love Garrett Raleigh, but you know, just as long as we got somebody confident.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we need. I mean, that's all it's going to take to get this thing going. I mean, because honestly, a trash can could have called the offense just as well Saturday. Just being honest. And to end the game that play, oh my goodness, another swing pass. No, you don't even try to go down the field.
Swing past Sat, man.
Anyways, ain't it, brother? All right, well, I'll let you go, man. Like I said, Gamecock Nation, keep your head up. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Go Gamecock.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Great call. Hey, great stuff, guys. We got 8 minutes to go. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. I would say this. It's crazy. You know, you and I talked to this a little bit, or I talked on this a little bit about with Steven Garcia. The evidence behind why Sat should be fired is so damning. Here we go. Frank, what's up, man? How are you?
How you doing? Good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. What's going on?
I'm still. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? How you doing? Good. How are you today?
Frank, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just had a little trouble with the connection.
Oh,
I
you're
just
good.
wanted to maybe find out. Look, I'm not a fan of parents getting involved in politics on and off the field, but Bell's absence is definitely concerning. My thing is somewhere in the organization, either the head coach or the OC or maybe even Rattler, who knows, is just not happy with the guy, and it's definitely costing us production on the field.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's obviously the Bell camp is not too ecstatic with the way things are going, right? I mean, you see his mom on social media, his uncle also chimed in, and so you can only imagine what Jaheim himself is feeling. And you know, it's one thing for him to go a game, maybe even two, right, with not as many targets as he would like. Like, it's one thing to be disgruntled, like, hey, get me the ball more. Like, if the offense was clicking and Antoine Wells and other guys were getting more of the touches and Jaheim Bell wasn't getting quite as involved, you know, okay, you want the ball more, like, we'll distribute. But, like, for him to touch it, not even get targeted, and the offense be porous and abysmal, that's just – I mean, I don't blame the Bell camp for being upset. You know, would I go the same exact way in regards to going to social media? I don't know. But I can't even blame them, man. I can't even blame them. So I will say this. I'm glad that they're applying some pressure. Pressure's a good thing. Pressure makes diamonds, right? Pressure creates change, which in this situation would be a great thing. So
agreed.
I can't blame them. I just can't blame them at all, man. I mean, again, their son, her son is thought of. You look at any NFL big board, or you look at any draft analyst talk about Jaheim Bell. It's glowing reviews. They think he can be a great player at the next level. He can make a lot of money. How much money is he losing out on being in this offense and not getting the football? Because it's just, you got to be able to put some tape together and some and some highlights. And God, I mean, I'm having trouble recalling like any that he has this year. I don't think he has a receiving touchdown this year, right? I mean, he doesn't. I mean, Rattler's only thrown 5. So I mean, I don't think he's got one, which is insane to think about. I mean, it's malpractice at its finest.
Yeah, and the trouble with that malpractice is if the captain, you know, doesn't recognize the ship is going down and make a change, then he's ended up going down with the ship, unfortunately. And I'm a Beamer fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and dude, I am as well. And I mean, I'm you know, if it was up to me, I'd make the change now. I would. You know, if Beamer wants to wait till end of season, you know, we'll just have to ride it out and there's probably reasons behind closed doors and things going on behind closed doors, we have no clue about, but boy, it is frustrating in the meantime. That is for sure. It is very frustrating.
Well, you have a great day.
Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Had a caller from New York, by the way. New York number. How about that? You love that. Guys, again, 843-790-3377. Just a couple of minutes to go. As I was saying as he called in, man, but it's just crazy. The numbers alone justify why there needs to be a change at OC. But you think of all the damning evidence that's off the field. The Josh Van comments from early. Jaheim Bell's parents, the recruiting stuff. I mean, Parrish, what's up, man?
What's going on, Chris?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. How are you?
Hey, man, I see the phone lines on fire today, man.
Mm-hmm.
Business is booming. But look, yeah, I just got two names. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, everybody on the show so far, all the callers have said everything I had to say. Yeah, I wanted to say. Even the Roach King even said some stuff that I wanted to say. But yeah, man, we didn't go ahead and get Gary Riley. What's his name, brother? Lincoln Riley, little brother. Go get Joe Brady.
Yeah,
1 or 2.
Joe Brady could be
fun. I don't want. Yeah, exactly. And I know Joe Brady. I'm not sure how other Gamecock fans may feel about his collegiate resume. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to get him. He's young. I feel like in today's football culture, a lot of kids I feel like they latch on to younger coaches. Yeah, man. So I wouldn't mind. Like I said, my 2 top options right now, 2 picks, got to be Joe Brady or Garrett Riley. That's it, though.
I love it. I'd take both, my friend. I'd take both.
For sure. All right, Chris, man. Have a good day.
Parrish, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Yeah, great stuff. And I would definitely – I think at this point, I don't know if Gamecock Nation would even be overly picky as long as it – at least in the short term, as long as it meant that Marcus Satterfield is no longer calling the plays. Guys, I want to say this. I urge you, go listen to the podcast that dropped this morning. More commentary just like this, because it was a therapy Monday to the max for yours truly. Podcast about 1 hour and 15 minutes long, just me ranting, raving, and again, it went longer than I even expected. But yeah, just a tough Monday for us all. I will say this: we'll vent today, we'll get it out, we'll vent some tomorrow. But season's not over. Gamecocks take on Vanderbilt this weekend. Also, Florida was announced as a 4:00 afternoon kickoff. So you Gamecocks going down to Gainesville, 4:00 kickoff. Also, we'll have a watch party at the Carolina Ale House location in Summerville, South Carolina. So doors for that one will probably open at 11. Kickoff will be at 4:00. Kevin Carlson, great meeting you at the tailgate as well, my friend. Yeah, I do want to say thank y'all so much, man. I want to say thank y'all so much to all those who came by the tailgate. We had a blast, man. Had an absolute blast. Appreciate you all, your love, your support. My favorite part of game day, truly. I mean, the games are fun. It's awesome. It's great making content, but it's so much fun meeting you guys and interacting and, just feeling the love, man. Wins or losses, we stay up because of the love and support. And I'm glad we have this space to vent and to get our emotions out there and get our feelings out there and obviously call for what needs to happen, which is Marcus Satterfield being relieved of his duties. I mean, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see what the issue is with South Carolina football. And, maybe early on in the season, you can say, well, maybe Rattler's not that good. The personnel, it's obvious and apparent, guys, I think at this point, what needs to happen. But guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much. We've hit 2:00. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you all tomorrow.